Hello, everybody. Welcome to Moving and Grooving Monday. I'm actually recording this on Sunday. So today is August 27th, and you will have until Wednesday, the 30th of August, to put your takeaway on Facebook after you watch this video and do the homework. So I'm really excited about this Race for Red. I know some of you have done like week one, some have done week one and week two. We are now in week three. And, you know, in our first week, we talked about your why. We talked about be, do, and have. And really focusing on not if I do the work, I'll have what I want, and I'll be happy. But to be happy now, be excited now, be joyful now. And then as you work and as you are happy and excited, the rest of it will come. So then the second week we talked about your why. Oh, what is our why? And my why has changed through the years. And, you know, my partner in crime, Andrea, her why has changed through the years. And I think everyone's why changes. Your why for you right now is super important. If your why is, I want to make more money. I want more flexibility and freedom. I want to spend more time with my kids. I want to spend more time doing the things I want to do. Then that's great. This is your time to be selfish. This is your time to say, this is what I choose for me. This is best for me. And I want you guys, you know, to not worry so much about, well, I need to think about my kids or my husband or my boyfriend or my job. I want you to really dig deep when you're thinking about your why and think about what would make you, and say that to yourself, what would make, and say your name, what would make Joanna happy, feel successful, feel fulfilled, and be excited about building my business. Think about it. Really plug yourself into that sentence. So this is week three. Week three, the title is leadership. Now, what I would love to have you guys do is before you even watch the rest of this video or immediately after, go to InTouch, go to education, click on consultant education, and click on the Red e-course, because really Pam Shaw's message is so good. I'll recap a little bit of it. She gave us 7 tips to really hone and tone and shape up our leadership skills. She talked about people live in their history, or they live in their present, or they live in their future. If you live in your history, you're going to let the negativity kind of bombard you, and it's going to limit you because all you know is what you did. And if you live in your present, you're going to be hit up with all the emergencies and everything that's, I got to get this done, I got to get that done. Also, we tend to have a little bit of creative avoidance when we live in our present because we always think there's more time to get things done. If we live in our future, then we're constantly planning the next step. We're planning what we're going to be doing. And so we're living more in our imagination and saying, I'm going to use the experiences from the past to help me, but not to limit me. So let's talk about the 7 things that Pam Shaw, who, y'all, you know, if Jennifer Aniston is the sweetheart of Hollywood, Pam Shaw is the sweetheart of Mary Kay. Everyone just adores her because she's so sweet. She's so kind. Her story is amazing. And she has been a cornerstone in leadership in our business for so many years. So we really need to listen to her while she is here, active as a national before her retirement date comes. She talks about, number 1, absolutely non-negotiable, you got to have a positive attitude. You know, yesterday we did Jules's business grand opening, and how many of you have had this happen? She had what she thought was going to be 12 or 13 people coming. She was all excited. She said, these are the people who are going to help me launch my business. And slowly the phone calls came in. And while I was on my way to her apartment to hold her grand opening, she was down to 6. And I told her, I said, you have to go in with a great attitude. You have to be excited that those 6 people are there. Don't utter one word of negativity like, well, so-and-so couldn't make it, or so-and-so didn't show up, or so-and-so called at the last minute and canceled. Let's focus on those 6 people. And even if only 2 or 3 show up, We are going to focus on them. Because, you know, don't you hate it when you go to something and you've taken out the time and you've prepared and you're attending, whatever it is, and people say, yeah, we were supposed to have more people here, but they didn't show up. And you're like, what am I, chopped liver? So really, the people that God brings into your presence, we really have to try to bless them as much as we can. So that, as our pastor said this morning in the service, so that we can be servant leadership and we can serve others. And then in the long run, our success will turn around on us. Okay, it's pretty good. Love it. Remember, sometimes you're the light that shines, sometimes you're the reflection. So just keep that in mind. Have a positive attitude. Number 2, prioritize your goals. Be specific and have it on a timeline. If you don't reach it in that timeline, change the timeline, but make the goal non-negotiable. I will go on target for my car this month. I will be in my red jacket this month. And guys, I realize it's the 27th, maybe in the 28th of August by the time you listen to this. So much can be done in 3 to 4 days. Really. We are hard-working peeps. We do not say we're going to let the last 4 or 5 days go. We just don't work that way. We are going to work through to the end and then be ready for the next month. So many people in Mary Kay work like crazy the first 2 weeks, then say, well, I don't know if it's going to happen the 3rd week. And by the 4th week, they're like, well, I'll try again next month. Why not just continually work? Do you go to your job every day? Do you show up for your kids every day? Do you show up for your husband every day? Do you show up for your friends every day and say, well, I'm going to see how it works out this week, and then I'll let you know if I'm going to continue this race? No, it's an ongoing journey. So don't let those dates scare you. Just continue to push forward. You got this. We are going to have so many people at leadership this year, so many DIQs, so many new directors. Don't sell yourself short. Don't miss that trip. Okay, San Diego, January. All right, number 3, have a plan of action. Have a plan of action for activities that produce results. Oh boy, I could preach on this for days. Sometimes y'all get so caught up in creating the next form or the next contest or the next giveaway or the next big. Go back to building those relationships one-on-one, meeting someone, inviting her to try the products, inviting her to share that facial with 3 to 4 friends, book your follow-up facial with friends, and then perpetuate your business on. Be proactive, not reactive. And if you have a plan in place and it's set in stone and you have burned the boats and you have said, I am all in, then it is going to work for you. I promise you it will. Just don't let those little things get in the way, okay? And make sure you're doing IPAs, income producing activities. We can sit there and dust off our product all day long, but wouldn't it be more conducive to a successful business if we would actually go to sell the product? Okay, so let's work on that. All right, be emotionally ready. You are going to have setbacks. Winners have setbacks. Talk to anyone who's ever been an athlete or a scholar or gone for a huge goal. They're going to say there are going to be setbacks. If there weren't setbacks, everybody would accomplish it. Winners love setbacks because they say, what can I learn from this setback? What can Jules learn from having people fall off at the last minute? This is what I told her. I said, you know what? This is a great reason for you to call them on Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon and say, you know, it would have been perfect if you could have been at my grand opening. My director is offering some amazing hostess prizes, and I would hate for you to miss out. Is there any reason why we couldn't get together with you and just 3 friends? What we're offering is you plus 3, and you get $50 in product free. It's up to you. I'll work with you either way. Do you want to do it at the beginning of the week, middle of the week, or is the weekend better for you? Thank you so much for supporting me in my business launch. That's it. Y'all, that's 90 seconds. Then you stop talking. And then they start speaking, and they'll tell you when their date is going to be. All right, very good. Okay, time management. We're going to talk a little bit of that in a few minutes, but prioritize and delegate. Prioritize and delegate, okay? Y'all are really good at, I know some of y'all are really, really good at that. We won't spend too much time on that because time management, I think y'all got that really good. Okay, number 6, acknowledge your distractions and your roadblocks. So if you know that maybe your babysitter isn't real reliable, or your child care isn't real reliable, or your car's not real reliable, or you need a backup plan. Do your backup plan, do your backup plan. You need to go ahead and be proactive about these things now. Be proactive, not reactive. Also, any bad habits that you identified in week 2, any things that are going to hold you back, okay? Any of those things that are going to be a roadblock for you and you know it's coming, okay? Anything that's coming up, a big family occasion, even a positive one, travel, projects you're having to do around your house, anything like that, you've got to prepare for it. Be proactive and not reactive. And know right now that any bad habits you have, that you can't just take away a bad habit. It has to be filled with something positive. And Andrea and I talked about that last week too, that when you've got a hole in the ground, when it rains, that hole is going to fill with water and dirt and all kinds of yucky stuff. So when you have a hole in your mind or in your journey or in your heart or in your soul, it's got to be filled with something positive, or all that junk is going to go in there. So let's replace those bad habits with good habits. I would love to know that every one of you are setting aside either 15 to 20 minute increments where you sit down on your phone and you do booking calls or follow-up calls with your hostesses. Or maybe you have a power hour where you have an hour where you sit down, you have your phone, you have your water there, you're ready to go, you're making your calls. Or some of y'all actually do your calls like 10 before 10, 10 dials before 10. I know Andrea's unit does that. Or you might say, well, I'll do my calls on Sunday afternoon. Don't let anything get in the way of that. That is your Mary Kay time. It's very important that your family respects it and that you respect it. Because if you don't respect your business, no one else will either. Number 7 is accountability. And you know, this is really near and dear to my heart because I preach this over and over and over again about being accountable, especially to your director. And I'm talking a daily Boxer message or a daily text message. You don't have to spend 15, 20 minutes on the phone with your director every day. If I'm your director, you can send me a Voxer and say, hey, I'm out and about on my day. Today, my goal is to have 3 party bookings and meet 5 new people, get 5 new names. Whatever it is. Don't make it so big that it overwhelms you, but set those priorities and Voxer me those goals. Then at the end of the day, you can say, hey, okay, I booked 2 parties, but I got 7 new names. And let me celebrate with you. Let your director celebrate with you. Also, allow yourself to be trackable. What that means is if you say, well, my goal is to put Mary Kay on 30 faces between now and the end of September 30th, then keep her up with that. So you can say, okay, so by the 15th, I'll have done 20 faces. That kind of puts you ahead of the game. By the 15th, I'll have done 20 faces. I'll have done at least 10 marketing interviews that you can follow up with. You guys, you're out there working and you're doing stuff and you say, I'm doing Mary Kay all the time, but you're not allowing your director to be your power partner. You're not allowing us to walk beside you. I'll tell you one of the most irritating things a director can hear, and that is, I just hate to bother you. That makes us want to go, yeah, okay? And we do that. We'll actually go, yeah, and that's not a pretty noise for a director to make. So don't make us make that yeah noise, okay? You say, hey, this is what Paula Langworthy does. Hey, Joanna, this is Paula. Do you have a quick minute? Absolutely. And she gets to the point and she asks me her question and we move on. That's how communication should work when we're all in a hurry and we're all busy and you want to get to the point. Now, if you really need to schedule a coaching call, like, hey, I really need some help, maybe doing some role playing on how to share the marketing plan. I'm a little confused about how to use the flip chart during my parties. You know, I haven't used a flip chart in years and now they brought it back. Are there certain scripts that you can run through with me? Absolutely. We love doing that, especially if you have activities scheduled where you're going to put those teachings, that education, those practices into use immediately. Okay. So if we do, let's say a practice marketing share, and I know that in 20 minutes you have a marketing share call. Okay, I can help you with those scripts and all, and you want to do it on your own. You don't want me on it. I understand. You want to be independent. That's awesome. But you guys, leaders ask for help. Leaders ask for help. great leaders ask for a lot of help because we are open to be coachable, teachable, and trainable. Okay, that's my soapbox. Okay, there are 4 different activities. The first one is my potential team member list. And you guys, this can be your potential hostess list, your potential facial list, whatever your goals are. This is a red jacket course, but I really want it applicable to everyone. So you can use this list also for people that you want to facial, that you want to ask them to be a hostess for you, a host for you. We've actually got some guys that are hosts right now. It's got family members, close friends, acquaintances, and other. What would other be? Well, that might be people that you have a different dimensional relationship with. So like I consider my relationships first, second, and third dimensional. Third dimensional would be my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my family, my relationship with my best friends, my Mary Kay best girlfriends, people like that. Two-dimensional relationships would be like my female pastor. Okay, so we have a male and female married couple pastors. She knows a little bit about me, but we don't necessarily go to lunch together all the time. We don't talk on the phone all the time. Another two-dimensional relationship would be like my boss at the Dream Center, Constance. You know, we see each other when I'm volunteering there. We have a lot of interactions, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe the person that you work for, maybe someone who works for you. You don't know all the ins and outs of their life. They're not like this in your life. They're more like this in your life. Then you have the one-dimensional or one-level relationships. That would be my postal carrier, who I say hello to. It might be the person that does my nails. It might be my hairdresser. It might be people I know at the gym, my trainer, people that you just have maybe a one-track relationship with. That's your one-dimensional relationships. Then you have other. And other would be people you know on the fly, people you just know by sight, someone you can strike up a conversation with. So you might even write down the lady with the red hair at the gym that always walks in with a little baby girl. Okay, the lady I see at the church that has the little boy that always wears a baseball cap. Okay, so make those notes. I'm telling you right now, when you refer back to these lists, it will get you to focus on contacting those people and really making sure that it's going to be done. I heard a CD from Jordan Halou Eicher, who is Kathy Halou's daughter, and she was talking about when you write things down, not type it out, but when you write it down, it creates that stronger path in your brain. And I'm like, I was a school teacher. I know this. Why do I type everything out? To sit down with pen and paper and write it out and then think about it. And then go back and say, what can I do with this? Why would this person be excited about booking with me? Why would this person be excited about reviewing the marketing plan with me? And guys, I start every marketing share with, this probably isn't for you, but it might be for someone you love. And I appreciate you listening to the facts about Mary Kay, because if it's not for you, it might be for someone in your sphere of influence who needs more income, more flexibility, and just more fun in their life. Okay, so just something to think about. Okay, that's the part number 1. Then you go to part number 2. This is so easy. This is going to be like a no-brainer. My distractions list. Okay, so this is do, dump, or delegate. I love that. Do, dump, or delegate. Watching TV, grocery shopping. Oh, so yeah, today Jules tells me that she now does the grocery pickup in front of the grocery store. And I'm like, why? And then I started thinking, you know, if you have a list and you do it online, and you go by and you pick up your groceries in front, you don't spend all that time walking around buying things that, you know, just attract the eye and it's impulse buying. You don't overspend. You have to make a list of what you need for that week. You pick it up, you go, you're done. It's a time saver. Now you might say, well, Joanna, when I walk around the grocery store, I hand out business cards. Then, you know, make that a specific time that you're going to hit during the week. So you might say, on Monday, I'm going to go at 5 right after work. On Tuesday, I'm going to go at night. On Wednesday, I'm going to go after church or before church. So you can kind of go sporadically and see different people and have those goodie bags ready. But you're not there to do your bulk shopping. You're there to meet people. It's a different strategy. Okay, checking Facebook. You guys, I know we post these on Facebook, but it will suck you in. It is a vortex. It is a black hole. It is a vacuum. And all you're going to do is come out feeling bad about yourself. People do not post on Facebook when they've had a yucky day, they have a bad hair day, or they have a big zit, okay? They just don't post it. They post happy. We are happy. You know, the world is happy. So don't let it suck you in. Have that specific time. You're going to get on Superstar's Facebook page, or you're going to use Pink into Pink. You're going to get off after 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and you're going to walk away. You got stuff to do. You got people to call. You got people to meet. You got to get out of there. Don't get sucked in. That's a waste of time. Start tracking the time you spend doing things like that. I think you'll be shocked. When you're going to do your product deliveries, when you're going to do your booking calls, your team building calls, cleaning the house, going to the movies. You got to have downtime. Surfing the internet. That's another waste of time. Reading, not a waste of time. I always have 2 books going. I always have a fun book, and I always have a self-help book. So my fun book might be something I'm reading right before I go to bed at night. I try to do my devotional reading in the morning. That kind of kickstarts my day. Right now, I'm reading Rachel Hollis, Girl Wash Your Face. My niece sent that to me. It's super, super good. That's good reading too, things that will kind of help you. So always have 2 or 3 things that you're reading. So, you know, if you need that little trash novel or trash magazine, that's fine, you know, have a ball with that. But make sure you're pouring something into yourself that's helping that brain. Okay, and helping you see new visions. Also CDs. I have a stack of CDs behind me. Every time I'm going out somewhere, and I'm going to be out in my car for 30 to 45 minutes, and I know where I'm going. Okay, got to know where you're going. So you're not distracted. I plug in one of those CDs. Consultant CDs, director CDs, I don't care. I plug in a CD. Even if I'm having to deal with other things, or, you know, I put it into my CD player while I'm doing my makeup or whatever, and then I run to go change the laundry or whatever, it's still going in subconsciously. You're feeding that brain. Okay, so reading, playing video games, I don't get that. Someone else talk about that. Checking emails, have a specific amount of time. So I have a certain amount of time that I'm going to spend on my Dream Center volunteer work, on my Secret Sisterhood, or not Secret Sisterhood, Secret Sisters with the church. I have a certain amount of time that I'm going to spend doing my emails and things like that. Set a timer. And when the timer goes off, stop it and go to the next thing. That also helps those of us who are a little ADD. I think all women have a little ADD going on. I think it helps us with multitasking. But if you can work on one project for 15 minutes and then go to something else, as long as you don't leave it in a crucial hanging place, okay? Don't leave the baby on the changer, changing the diaper, and you're not through, and you go, timer went off, no more baby time, okay? Just kidding. All right. Pre-profiling party guest. There are basically 3 questions you want to ask them. You don't need to ask them all the questions on the profile. You can do that at the show itself. What are you currently using to wash your skin? Wash your face, actually. If you could change anything about your skin, what would it be? And if I were to design a look for you, would you want a natural look, a career look, or a party look, or slam and glam look? Okay, and then filling product orders. That's easy too. If you can hire a teenager or even one of your children to do that, and I will find out. As a matter of fact, I told Andre I would find out exactly how much. So let's just note to self. See, we got to write things down when we think of them so that our mind isn't exploding later with, oh no, what did I forget? Is how much, and somebody may know this, you can post it. How much is the tax write-off of what you can pay your kids under a certain age to work for you, as long as you track their hours. So much per hour, and you can deduct that off your taxes as help, okay? So then you're going to write things I will do, things I will dump, and things I will delegate, okay? You can't delegate everything, but you can delegate some things. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with paying your kids to fold laundry while you're making booking calls. There's nothing wrong with that. You are teaching them skill sets. When you do everything for your kids, well, I'm not even going to go. I'm not going there. Okay, all right. Step 3 was more. They didn't really have a sheet that you print off. Your step 3 is. What was your step 3? Your plan of action for activities that produce results, okay? So make sure that you listen to that. No, that wasn't it. Okay, now this is embarrassing. Distractions, plan of action. Time management support. See, anybody can be a director. Okay, your plan of action. And then it's distractions. Okay, we did distractions. So now let's go to plan of action. Okay, so your plan of action, this is another great little sheet that you can fill out. I recommend you send this to your director. We need to see this. How much time am I willing to spend working my Mary Kay business? You can do this for every day, every week, or just monthly. Okay, but I would recommend you do it for the week and then break it down by days. Have a weekly plan sheet and stick to it. All right, how much energy and effort am I willing to give? Interesting, huh? Am I going to be proactive or reactive? Okay. How many sales appointments am I going to hold weekly? Start with booking it today. How many this week? And how many faces? You can add to number 3, how many faces? How many team building appointments am I willing to hold weekly? If they are in front of you and they're trying the product, guess what? They need to hear about the company. How many hours a week am I willing to give to follow-up calls, emails, and or texts? Again, time management. And when will I order my red jacket? Please specify a specific date. Now, if you've already been a red jacket or you are a red jacket, then that would be where you're going to add 3 new team members. Okay? It's so much fun when you have new team members because they're so excited and they're so open and they ask great questions. Oh my gosh, great questions. So that is it for this week. We did miss Andrea today. I'm sure it would have been a lot better with her, but she's a little under the weather today. But I just want to let you guys know that we are thinking of you. We pray for you every day. We would love to get your takeaway after you do your week 3 activities. Get your takeaway of what you learned. Okay, so you guys have an amazing week. We will talk to you on Tuesday when we have Talk to Me Tuesday, and hope you learned something today. God bless.